You just push through the heavy swinging doors of a busy airport restroom. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. You have exactly 4 minutes before your flight boards, and a row of 6 identical empty stalls is staring back at you. Without even breaking your stride, your brain runs a lightning-fast threat assessment. You walk right past the very first door. You skip the last one. You pivot smoothly towards stall number 3. It feels like a calculated, strategic choice to secure your privacy, but it wasn't. You just fell into a predictable evolutionary trap. The exact same invisible trap that guarantees you will overpay for a bottle of wine at dinner tonight. But right now, this blind spot in your logic means you just mathematically guaranteed you are sitting on the dirtiest toilet in the entire building. Almost everyone treats the first bathroom stall, not the one closest to the entrance, like a contaminated zone. To your subconscious, picking that first door feels like pitching a camping tent on the shoulder of a busy highway. It is entirely too exposed. Anyone walking in or washing their hands is hovering just a few feet away from your vulnerable state. Logic tells us that because it is the most accessible, it must take the heaviest beating from the lazy masses. It is the frontline infantry of the restroom. So you retreat to the middle. The middle feels like a safe harbor, an insulated fortress protecting you from the chaotic traffic of the door. Your brain actively validates this decision, silently patting you on the back for outsmarting the unwashed crowds. But your flawless logic has a fatal flaw. You are avoiding the first stall because you assume everyone else uses it. Everyone else is avoiding it for the exact same reason. By trying to outsmart the system and find a quiet spot, humans accidentally create a highly concentrated hub of biological chaos right in the dead center of the room. The stall that feels the most contaminated is actually an untouched sanctuary. The absolute cleanest, quietest, and least used stall in any public restroom is the exact one your brain screams at you to avoid. And we know exactly how lopsided this distribution is, thanks to a deeply weird covert experiment that I will map out for you in a minute. So why do our brains universally fail this basic test? It comes down to a hardwired cognitive bias called Centrality Preference. When presented with a horizontal lineup of identical options, the human brain utterly despises the edges. We intuitively map the concept of center to safe and periphery to danger. Picture a herd of prehistoric sheep on a dark savanna. The sheep on the outer edges are the ones that get picked off by hungry predators. The absolute safest place to exist is buried deep in the squished center of the crowd. Even though there are no apex predators lurking near the hand dryers, your subconscious is still running that ancient survival software. To your inner caveman, the first stall is the dangerous edge of the herd. Evaluating every single toilet takes mental energy you would rather save, so your brain uses this shortcut. The physical evidence of this behavior is absolutely staggering. Psychologist Nicholas Christenfeld wanted to prove this blind spot existed, but installing cameras in a restroom is highly illegal. Instead, he tracked the one metric that never lies: the toilet paper. Over 10 weeks at a busy California beach, custodians meticulously measured how quickly the giant paper rolls depleted across 4 identical stalls. The numbers destroyed our collective bathroom logic. The middle stalls accounted for a massive 60% of the total usage. To put that in perspective, that is the equivalent of a commuter train, where everyone is crammed face to glass in the middle cars, while the first car has completely empty plush leather seats. Subsequent swab tests by microbiologists confirm this perfectly. The bacterial colony counts on the flush handles of middle stalls absolutely dwarf the first stall. It is the difference between licking a sticky subway pole and eating off a freshly sanitized surgical tray. Which brings us back to that overpriced bottle of wine. Centrality preference does not switch off when you wash your hands. The entire modern world is engineered around your desperate need for the middle. Menu designers intentionally place their highest margin items right in the center of the page, surrounding them with ridiculously expensive decoy items on the edges. They know you will scan the extremes, flinch at the high prices, and retreat to the safety of the middle option. You think you were making a budget-conscious compromise, but they just corralled you exactly where they wanted you. Supermarkets weaponize this too. When you stare at a shelf of cereal, your eyes naturally gravitate to the center. So, store managers charge brands massive fees to place their most expensive products right in your visual bullseye. The cheaper, better value alternatives are banished to the dusty bottom corners. And if 3 sets of elevator doors open simultaneously in a busy lobby, watch the crowd blindly funnel into the middle car. They will stand shoulder to shoulder, actively breathing on each other, while the left and right elevators remain completely empty. Your brain is a prediction machine built for the ancient wilderness, currently operating in a world of fluorescent lights and tile floors. We spend our lives drifting toward the middle because our instincts tell us it is safe. But in the modern world, the middle is crowded, overpriced, and covered in bacteria. The edges are where the real advantages hide. So, the next time you face that imposing row of metal doors, let your inner caveman panic. Ignore the magnetic pull of the herd, step up, push open that very first door, and claim your untouched territory. True independence just means knowing which stall the rest of the sheep are too afraid to use. Although once you conquer the bathroom, you might want to rethink how you push the crosswalk button outside. But we will map out that little placebo trap next time.